Hello. Today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. I want to take this time to acknowledge and celebrate him for the sacrifices that he made, the love that he showed, and all the wonderful things that he's done. The things that he did to make life better for us as a whole. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15, 1929. He is greatly known for his role in the civil rights movement and celebrated for his leadership and determination to end desegregation. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave hundreds of moving speeches across the country. Notably, the most powerful speech of all times was his I Have a Dream speech, given on August 28, 1963, during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, in which he called for civil and economic rights and an end to racism in the United States. People came by the masses to hear, witness, and be a part of this historical moment. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Sadly, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. died April 4th, 1968, reportedly from a fatal gunshot wound. It is believed that Dr. King was assassinated by James Earl Ray, a fugitive from the Missouri State Penitentiary, as he stood on the second-floor balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. James Earl Ray was convicted and sentenced to 99 years in prison. However, it is believed by the King family that Ray was framed, and the real assassins were local, state, and federal government officials eager to get rid of what I refer to as our living hope. Although his life ended that day, the work that he accomplished changed the nation. Dr. King will be remembered not only for his commitment to the cause of equality for African Americans, but also for his profound speeches that moved so many. Even in death, he lives. I'm going to take this time to remind you all of how powerful this man was. He lived 39 years. Therefore, I have 39 quotes to move, empower, motivate, and encourage each and every last one of us. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. We must use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always ripe to do right. There is nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the lengths of life devoid of breadth. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to broaden to the broader concerns of all humanity. The quality, not the longevity, of one's life is what is important. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. Let me repeat that. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Everybody can be great because everybody can be great because anyone can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they died for. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the floods of fear. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. That old law about an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. The time is always right to do the right thing. We are prone to judge success by the index of our salaries or the size of our automobiles, rather than by the quality of our service and relationship to mankind. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. I am not interested in power for power's sake, but I'm interested in power that is moral, that is right, and that is good. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Once again, people fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they do not know each other. They do not know each other because they have not communicated with each other. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. We will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. Our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. A nation or civilization that continues to produce soft-minded men purchases its own spiritual death on an installment plan. No, no, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like the mighty streams. The moral arc of the universe bends at the elbow of justice. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate. Adding deeper darkness to the night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate. Violence multiplies violence. And toughness multiplies toughness in a descending spiral of destruction. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Seeing is not always believing. It may be true that the law cannot make a man love me, but it can keep him from lynching me, and I think that's pretty important. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We must come to see the end we seek. We must come to see that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself. A society that can live with its conscience. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. In reading the autobiography of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I'm moved. I'm moved because a lot of things I'm learning about him. I listen to his speeches. I listen to him talk. I listen to his narratives. I listen. he was a great man. He was a great man. And he made many, many, many sacrifices for us to have a better life. Not only him, but there were others. We're just concentrating on him today. It is unfortunate the way the world has turned. It is unfortunate that our children and their children don't know their place. And even some of us in this generation that I'm in. Individuals from the age of, well, I'm 45 and down. Even some 50 and down. I mean, because we missed the struggle doesn't mean that we wasn't a part of it. We are still a part of it today. We just missed it physically. It wasn't, now it's just not as overt as it was. We have to do better by ourselves. We have to know our history. We have to know our legacy. We have to know our oppressors. We have to know how they come to oppress so that we can rise above it, so that we can move through it. We are losing ourselves in this world. We most certainly are. And everything that he stood for, everything that he did, everything that he sacrificed, if we don't get it right, it will have been all in vain. A temporary defeat. We have to do better. Each and every last one of us. Each and every last one of us find strength in some of these quotes. If not all of them, I find strength in each and every last one of them. Find strength. Find your place in it where you fit in. Make some changes in your life. Allow it to move you. Allow it to make you better today than you were yesterday. Allow it to open your mind and bring some consciousness to you. Let's not sit in ignorance any longer. Let's not let these great people who came and fought these battles for us so that we can have a better life, let's not let their lives be in vain, because so many of them died in the struggle, in the pursuit. In celebrating this day, celebrate him for who he was, what he did, and the legacy that he left behind. Let's not just celebrate on today, which is his birthday, or Monday, the day that they observed as his birthday. Let's celebrate every day. And the way we do that is by remembering everything that he did, all of his sacrifices, and striving to be better in every cause, moving forward, being a force in this world, and not sitting, standing, or laying in silence. We have to do our part. We have to do our part. In doing that, we have to come out of ignorance. We have to open our mouths. We have to open our eyes. We have to open our ears. We have to open our hearts. We have to be open. Open to receive. We have to give ourselves a chance. We had so many people fighting for us. Now it's our time to fight for ourselves. We must. We must. Not only for ourselves, but for others. We are leaders. That's what leaders do. So, I wanted to make sure that he was remembered. I wanted to make sure that all those positive things, all those motivating things that he said and did, that we remembered them. So, listen again to all of his quotes, the 39. Go online. There are more. Lots and lots and lots more. Read them. Comprehend them. And start implementing them in your day-to-day life. Start moving towards your better tomorrow. You have a responsibility. And it starts today. MJK.